welcome back to 3 News Now. It's Wednesday, February 26th, 2020. I'm Stephanie Haney. We've got lots of top headlines for you today, lots of great stories. Here's what we're going to be taking a look at today. There is wintry weather on its way, but fear not, because ODOT has a plan. We'll tell you all about that. Cleveland Browns' new general manager, Andrew Berry, has been talking about key players and what we can expect for their future in the Browns franchise. We'll talk about that. Also, ESPN's Tony Grossi suspended indefinitely for remarks that he made. We'll let you know what happened there. And some very good news for the city of Cleveland. We are in the top 5 cities for jobs across the country based on a new study. And of course, today is Wednesday, Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of Lent for many people. And that means no meat on Fridays. So we have our interactive fish fry map up to let you know where you can get your fish fix on Fridays for the next couple of weeks. For links to all of those stories, you can text 216-344-3300. Text the word NOW, N-O-W. Again, text the word NOW, N-O-W to 216-344-3300. in order to get links to all of these stories today in our 3 News Now article. You can also text your comments and pictures and other kinds of things to that number as well. You don't have to just text the keywords, by the way. Just want to thank everybody for joining us here in the live stream today. You know, as we're talking about the weather, I would love for you all to let me know where you're watching from and what kind of weather you might be experiencing wherever you are. Or any kind of comment you want to make, just say hi, let me know where you're watching from. I love engaging with everybody. Okay. Let's get into that winter weather that we're expecting. So this morning, our meteorologist, Holly Strano, said that tomorrow morning's drive is going to be a tricky one. And here's why. There is snow expected to start earlier in the day for areas west of Interstate 71. But the majority of Northeast Ohio has been getting rain this morning. Late this afternoon, we're expecting that to change into snow. So by tomorrow morning, you can anticipate 1 to 3 inches of snow on the ground while you're waking up tomorrow, maybe making your way to school, making your way to work, going out running errands, whatever it is you're doing. So you're going to want to be mindful of that. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. We do have a winter storm watch that will be taking effect tonight at 10 p.m. and that's going to run through 6 p.m. on Saturday for the following counties: Ashtabula, Geauga, and Lake counties. That's where the heaviest lake effect snow is expected through the days ahead. Just a little reminder for you, a winter storm watch means severe winter conditions such as heavy snow and or ice might affect your area, but the location and the timing are still uncertain. So we've got a winter storm watch taking effect tonight at 10 p.m. through Saturday at 6 p.m. for Ashtabula, Geauga, and Lake counties. We have a winter weather advisory in a couple other counties. So an advisory lets you know that winter weather conditions are expected to cause significant inconveniences that might be hazardous or dangerous, okay? So a winter weather advisory is in effect right now through 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, late tonight, tomorrow morning through 4 a.m. for these counties: Erie, Ottawa, Sandusky, and Seneca, okay? So if you're in Erie, Ottawa, Sandusky, or Seneca counties, you are now in a winter weather advisory, so there are expected to be some hazardous or dangerous conditions now through 4 a.m. late this evening, early tomorrow morning. The good news, though, according to our Holly Strano, the extended forecast is showing much warmer temperatures returning next week, possibly nearing the 60s. Sounds pretty good. Okay, but back to this weather that might be problematic for you. The Ohio Department of Transportation has a plan to handle this. There will be 300 crews plowing and salting the roadways in these counties. So if you live in these counties, you can expect to see ODOT on the road taking care of those roads: Ashland, Ashtabula, Crawford, Cuyahoga, Erie, Geauga, Huron, Lake, Lorain, Mahoning, Medina, Portage, Richland, Stark, Summit, Trumbull, and Wayne counties. I'm going to list that again. I know that's a lot of counties. I'm just going to run through that list for you again, though. 300 crews will be out plowing and salting the roadways in these counties: Ashland, Ashtabula, Crawford, Cuyahoga, Erie, Geauga, Huron, Lake, Lorain, Mahoning, Medina, Portage, Richland, Stark, Summit, Trumbull, and Wayne counties. So we can expect those workers to be working 12 to 16-hour shifts until this wintry weather subsides and the roads are fully passable, safe for you to drive on. ODOT officials are urging people to allow extra time when they're traveling in these snowy conditions now through Saturday in many of these counties. And ODOT has asked to remember us all. Please don't crowd the plows. Give those people room to work. Their jobs are very important. We want to make sure that everybody stays safe while they're keeping us safe. Okay, moving on to the NFL Combine, where GM Andrew Berry made some comments about the future of key Browns players. He talked about a couple of players, one of those being linebacker Joe Schobert. So Joe is entering unrestricted free agency this upcoming season, and Berry said that the Browns will meet with linebacker representatives about a potential long-term deal there. Schobert has performed for us, but he says that any contract has to make sense for both sides. This is what Berry said. He said, Schobert has obviously earned the right to test the market if he deems that appropriate, but it's one of those situations where we like Joe, and it obviously has to work for both sides. It has to work from a cost perspective for the long-term roster strategy, and obviously it has to be a fit for Joe and his family as well. So Schobert led the Browns with 133 tackles last season. It would be great if we could see him stay. We'll have to see what makes sense and what works out for both parties. Okay. Now taking a look at tight end David Njoku. This was his third season with the Browns, and he had some injuries and what seems like a disconnect between the coaching staff and the front office. But Berry is a fan of the first-round draft pick, and he seemed to imply that the team would be picking up a fifth-year option for him on that tight end contract before the May 3rd deadline. Berry said David didn't quite have the year that he anticipated this past fall, but we still view David as a talented pass catcher and a guy that we expect to take a step forward this upcoming year. So last year, Njoku caught just 5 passes for 41 yards and had 1 touchdown in 4 games in 2019. Obviously, he would have liked to be in more than 4 games, but injuries prevented that. So sounds like we'll be sticking around with Njoku, and we'll see what kind of a performer he is next year. Now taking a look at running back Kareem Hunt. That was a controversial addition to the roster. Of course, at the beginning of the season, he sat out serving that suspension related to his actions where he was here at a Cleveland hotel kicking a woman, caught on video, apologized for that. So we brought him on the team. And then a little while ago, he was pulled over. It was found that he had a substance in his car that might have been marijuana. Because of the law structure here in Ohio, actually that substance wasn't tested because hemp production is now legal here. So if it's a small amount, it doesn't make sense for the government to pay to test to see if it is marijuana. So there were no criminal charges accompanying that stop there. But of course, not really sure how that's going to play out necessarily in the NFL, if that's going to require any kind of testing for him there. But here's what Berry had to say about Hunt. He's a member of our organization. He understands the expectations that we have for him moving forward. We're looking forward to him being a member of our team again, provided that he and all of our players abide by our expectations. So sounds like the ball is in Hunt's court to see if he can get his off-field act together to remain a part of the Cleveland Browns strategy. And now wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. This has been a long topic of conversation all season long. Is OBJ happy here in Cleveland? Is he looking for an out? Do the Browns need him? Do we want him? Is he a good, productive part of the team? He should probably be sticking around, according to some comments made by Berry at the NFL Combine. So here's what Berry said. Odell is a very talented football player. We view him as part of our future. Kevin Stefanski and I both have really good conversations about our expectations for him, and we expect him to adapt to those moving forward. We're excited about the future with Odell and excited about what he's going to do this fall. I can tell you as a fan, I, for one, was very excited about us getting Odell Beckham Jr. Here's hoping that he can live up to those expectations. And with a team that's really gelling, with a coach, that's making the right decisions, getting the right plays, a team that's cohesive, we'll see what he can do for us next season. I know I would personally like to see him making some of those one-handed catches for us, big moments in those big games. Okay. Also yesterday at the Combine in Indianapolis, ESPN Browns beat reporter Tony Grossi was caught in a hot mic moment. He called Baker Mayfield a derogatory term that's used to refer to little people. This happened during a commercial break for ESPN Cleveland, WKNR 850's The Really Big Show, and it was heard by people who were listening on the live stream who were able to hear the audio during that commercial break on thelandondemand.com. So after that happened, ESPN Cleveland very quickly suspended him indefinitely. This was the statement that they made. We are aware of Tony Grossi's statement about Baker Mayfield. The term Tony used is a derogatory slur to describe little people. Good Karma Brands will not tolerate derogatory language that demeans others or groups of people. We are addressing this matter with Tony directly, and while we normally do not comment on personnel matters, we do want to share that we've made the decision to immediately and indefinitely suspend him. They also said in the comment that they will pursue sensitivity and inclusion training for everyone on their contact teams across the company. So after this happened, Grossi very quickly apologized. He posted on Twitter, "I sincerely apologize for using a word that is a derogatory slur. There's no excuse for losing that language in any context. It was said without malice, but also without thought." He added, "I apologize to Little People, Good Karma Browns, the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, to our listeners, and to anyone who was offended by my actions." He also addressed the ongoing drama between himself and Baker Mayfield, definitely some contentious moments between the two of them during press conferences after games and elsewhere. And he said this, "It's well known that Baker and I have had our differences, and in the course of this experience, I've had to question my role in the erosion of the relationship. I've always endeavored, to report and comment on him and the team fairly, and am shaken by these events. I will strive to be a better person and professional." So it's well known that before the 2018 NFL draft, Grossi was very outspoken about the fact that he did not want the Browns to draft Baker Mayfield. They've had that shaky relationship at press conferences. There was one moment after a drive that didn't end in a score. This was in October, that Grossi asked him if he was happy with that drive. Baker said, of course he wasn't happy with the drive that didn't score. He called it, quote, "the dumbest question you could ask," end quote, and then he stormed off the podium. So only time will tell what the future holds for Grossi here in Cleveland. But if he's looking for a career change, Cleveland is a great place to be. A Glassdoor, which is a job and recruiting site, it's ranked the 25 best cities in the U.S. for jobs this year, and Cleveland came in number 5 overall. So this was based on rankings including hiring opportunity, cost of living, and job satisfaction. So here is the full list of how Cleveland ended up in those rankings. On hiring opportunity, Cleveland ranks 22 based on the ratio of current job openings to our population here. Cost of living is where we really ran away with it. Cost of living, Cleveland ranks number 3 based on the ratio of median salary to median home value. Just as a reminder too, median is when you line up all the numbers and it's the very middle number. So this isn't an average. We don't have the highest of the high and the lowest of the low skewing this number. This is literally, if you line up all of the costs of living, the very middle point, that's what median salary and median home value is. So Cleveland ranks number 3 there. In terms of job satisfaction, Cleveland ranks number 22, with a 3.4 job satisfaction rating. This is based on company reviews shared on Glassdoor by local employees. And when it comes to job openings, Cleveland has over 37,000 job openings as of January 2nd of this year. Some of the top jobs that are available for those openings include shift manager, mortgage loan officer, and human resources business partner. So our median base salary in the Cleveland area is just under $50,000. It's $49,719, and the median home value in the Cleveland area is $156,590. So just under $157,000. If you're curious about who rounded out the top 5 with us, number 1 was Raleigh, North Carolina. Number 2, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Obviously, that's debatable for many reasons. Number 3 is Indianapolis, Indiana, and number 4 is Memphis, Tennessee. There are other Ohio cities as well that ended up ranking high in this ranking. Cincinnati ended up at number 9 and Columbus at number 14. If you want to see the full list, of course, you can see the link to that. You can link to that in our 3 News Now article, again, by texting the word NOW to 216-344-3300. And also, too, we talked about this yesterday, if you are looking for work, Progressive Insurance just announced that they are bringing 1,500 jobs to Cleveland, and that's expected to be filled this year. We've also got that link on the website, but you can apply there at progressive.com/careers. Okay. So it's Wednesday, it's hump day. That always makes me think of Friday. And of course, with today being Ash Wednesday, the start of Lent, it's especially making me think of Friday. And just in time for all of those meat-free options that everybody needs that observes Lent on Friday, we have our fish fry guide up. That's at wkyc.com/fish fry. So I'm going to let you know how this works. You're seeing it right now. If you take a look at that map, you see some icons on there. Those are little fish. If you scroll into the map, you can see a particular area that might have a fish fry that you're interested in. If you click on the little fish, It'll tell you the details you need to know about that fish fry. And if you want to share information of a fish fry that you know about, if you scroll down on the webpage, you can submit that information so that we can have the most up-to-date information for you about fish fries in the area, and that'll carry you through the next 46 days, including Sundays, of course, as you observe Lent, if you are observing Lent, but also if you just like fish. You know, who doesn't love a good fish fry? That's always fun. All right, as a reminder, again, you can get links to all of these stories by texting the word NOW to 216-344-3300, 216-344-3300. I want to thank everyone for participating in the live stream here, sharing your comments. Samuel Smith from Franklin, Ohio, letting us know it's already snowing there. Thanks for sharing that with us, Sam. Christy, I totally agree with you. Winter, please go away. Truly, we've been pretty lucky. It's been a pretty mild winter so far, but doesn't mean that we don't want it to go away, right? I think we're all ready for spring. You know, the Indians are in spring training. We've got that vibe starting. Very excited about that. All right, thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate you being a part of 3 News Now, commenting on the live stream. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/WKYCTV. That's also linked in that article. If you're not joining us on Facebook, if you found us somewhere else, either on the website or on YouTube, the Facebook page is facebook.com/WKYC.channel3. And you can always connect with me directly. You can use that text number to connect with me directly. I will see it if you do send a message there. But you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Stephanie Haney. And you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/TheStephanieHaney. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the stories that we talked about today, any ideas for stories that you might have, exciting things that are happening in your community, especially your weekend events. You know, we put together a weekend guide every single week about cool things that are going on in Northeast Ohio. So if there's something that you know about that you want to share, I would love to hear about that. You can also email me at stephaniehaney@wkyc.com. Thanks for being a part of this. Everyone have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you back here tomorrow on 3 News Now.